Hi everybody. Today I just quickly want to show you a recipe that I use when I make energy bars for my trips. It's a perfect snack, healthy, no sugar, no baking. If you want to have some extra energy boost when you're out on your camping trip, your hiking trip, or whatever you do where you just want easy access to something that is delicious and is really good for you. So if you want to know how to do this, stay with me. Now for this batch here, I will just be making a small portion that fits right into the cutter that we're going to use. And the end result is about 10 bars at 30-35 grams a piece, which is the perfect size that I like when I'm going out. So for this particular one, I'll be using 20 grams of almond, 20 grams of sunflower seeds, 20 grams of cashew nuts, 15 grams of flax seeds. I've got 90 grams of dates, 80 grams of raisins, and 60 grams of oats. Then just for the flavor and a little bit of saltiness, I have a little pinch of salt, and I do have about 3 grams of cinnamon, powdered cinnamon. The important thing is just to remember when you're making these energy bars that you have a decent ratio between the sticky bits and the dry bits. And in this case, the sticky bits is the dates and the raisins, and the dry bits is all the rest. In order to get the best value out of your nuts and your seeds, the best way is to soak your nuts and seeds for about 10-12 hours. Because by doing that, you are germinating the nuts, and you'll be extracting some of the chemicals that makes it difficult for your body to absorb all the nutrients. So if you just leave them overnight, for instance, for like 10-12 hours, like I said, and then dry them off, then you will have some nuts that are much better for your energy bar. And once you have had them soaking for a while, spread them out on a napkin of sort. Make sure that you take as much of the moist away from the nuts and the seeds. And then you could just leave them in the sun, for instance, for a day or so. But to speed up the process, I've chosen to put them into the oven and let them not bake, but just dry them out at a low heat at 120 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes. This is just basically to get rid of all the moist as fast as possible so I can go on with what I really want to do, make my energy bars. And so once you have got your nuts and your seeds dried, you take all your ingredients and you put them into a bowl and you mix them up. Now, this is obviously not really needed if you're doing a small batch like this. I'm just doing it out of habit because normally I make double the portions and it does not fit in my grinder. So in order to make sure I have all the ingredients in the same amount, I mix it up in a bowl first, and then I grind it up half the amount with half the dates. But in this case, we can put all in one go in the grinder. So here you just put all the things into the grinder and we will grind it up. Now initially it will just be very coarsely grind, and you can see it's very light, so you just keep on doing it until eventually you get it in a much darker and a much more sticky consistency. At the time the grinder basically can't just pull it around anymore, as you can see. Next stage is fairly simple. You put it on parchment paper, and now it's just time to flatten it out, and I like to flatten it out in a rectangular size so that's easy to cut later on. And I like to use my hands to begin with. And once you patted it out to a certain level, then you take your roller pin and you will finish it off so that you get the desired size of it. I like my energy bars to be about 3 or 4 millimeters thick. Before you slice it, put the energy bars here into the refrigerator for like an hour or so, just to make sure that it cools off, because your nut might be a little bit warm after you have them in the oven, but also to solidify it a little bit more. It's easier to cut. Then you vacuum seal it. I put 2 in a bag and then I just seal it like you would normally things here, but because the bags are too big, I then use these sealer here and basically just get as close to the energy bar as I can and seal it off. And eventually I can cut that into smaller pieces and it works perfectly. Now it's easy just to put into your running vest or in your bag, and you will have 1 energy bar per pack. And so there you have it, guys. Very delicious, very nutritious,
very healthy energy bars for your kayak trip, trail running, hiking, camping, whatever you do outdoor when you just want easy access to some very delicious, very healthy snack. Until next time, stay curious.